Alright, today we are opening up some hives and talking about what bees need to be in them. A lot of times when we visit hives, you'll see beekeepers take out individual frames and be flipping them over, analyzing each side. And so today we want to break down what they're actually seeing when they're inspecting both sides of a frame. In this image, as a pretest, we want to see if you can spot the drone. By the end of this video, we want you to be able to find the male honeybee. So, let's do this. It can be really overwhelming when you're looking at a full super, other nukes, which are small hives, or individual frames. So we're going to break this down by queen, drone, and worker.
Doors open, Katie. We're right here.
So if you couldn't tell, if we moved over to a different site, what we're doing here is taking the frames out and looking to see how the brood is doing, which are the young larvae and pupa, checking on the queen and looking for the health of the workers and drones. Honey is there on the left of the frame. It's all capped over, and the brood is what I'm pointing to with the red end of the tool. Males poke out kind of like an eraser as they're turning into a pupa, and females stay level or flush. Right here, I'm going to point out a queen, and then I'm going to show you the little cup that she develops in. So Nia and Harrison from Sammy are helping us out, and they identified that there were a bunch of queen cups on the bottom of this frame. Whether it's the top, bottom, or middle of a frame, they will create this bubble-like structure to lay the queen egg. It's fed only royal jelly its entire life, even once it hatches as a queen, and that's what gives it the different anatomical structures. You can see in this image that at the top there's a peanut-looking structure. That's where they've sealed off a queen who's going ahead through her metamorphosis and going from a larva to a pupa. Once she hatches, she will exterminate or kill any other queen in the hive. If multiple queens hatch at the same time, they'll fight to the death till only one gets to maintain the hive.
Oh my gosh. More queens. How many? Look right there, that peanut's already sealed. There's a queen in that one. Look at all these queen cups.
If you look closely on this frame, there are several queen cups. I would say over a dozen. Some have been sealed already as the queen has been laid and is going ahead and gone through its larva and now is in its pupa stage. If we had cages to put around each of these queens, we could actually harvest them individually and then move them to new hives. Some beekeepers will actually exterminate a queen like this because she produces so many queens, but we enjoy it because we're trying to spread hives throughout Tacoma.
So you see this little like cup thing that's hanging off the side over here? That's what they would put a queen in. So you look in there and there's no eggs or anything, so they haven't laid a queen. But you see the little eraser looking dudes? They're definitely hatching out boys.
Drone structure look between a queen and a worker. Down here at the bottom, you can see that there are large bubbles protruding out of the frame, but they're not queens. Queens start to turn into a peanut when they're capped, while males stay like an eraser.
Kind of where the red one is, like you see how there's like the eraser thing pointing out, but then you can see the larva in it? That's a boy. And then
So in this video clip, can you identify the male capped pupa? They're in the bottom right-hand corner, kind of poking out and making a mound. If it was a worker or female, it would be flush or flat. Mature drones, like the one I'm pointing to, have really large eyes and a round bottom. Although it can be very overwhelming when you're looking at a frame that's holding over 1,000 bees, we're looking to see the pattern of the brood development. Beekeepers are able to evaluate how many drones versus workers are being laid, and you can see right here that all of these individual larvae and pupa are flush or flat, not bulging out like an eraser or mound. That meaning that they're workers. If they were really spotty, that would mean that it would be a weak queen, but these workers look great.
slide that in and try to put whatever side that. Yep. Yep. No, but that's okay.
So to finish off this video, we just want to zoom in on a worker honeybee. These are the majority of all the bees that you see in a hive, except for about 500 to 2,000 drones, depending on the time of year, and one queen. Whether evaluating a full-size hive or a nuke or smaller hive, they should have drones, queens, and workers present. Right here is a frame that only has honey. I'm curious now that you're an expert at evaluating frames, if you can tell the difference between worker brood and honey. On the bottom left, you can see that that is capped honey, where the brood is in the upper right. I know it's a small difference, but now let's see if you can review and see the different parts of a frame. Let's get one out and check it out. On this side, do you see which openings will become males? Which ones do you see poke out? The ones on the left. And here, can you spot the male? Worker, worker, worker. Drone over on the right. Good job. A lot of times people mistake drones for queens because they have such large bodies, but in all of these that you're seeing, there would only be one queen who we did not see in this hive today. Enjoy!